My name is Mandy Pedder and I'm a teaching and learning consultant with Lancashire Professional Development Service. I have put together this quick vlog to support you with assessing prior knowledge and understanding. The aims of this session are for you to understand the importance of assessing prior knowledge and understanding, and I will share examples on how you can go about this. Lots of schools, and perhaps you yourselves, are on a journey reviewing your curriculum, sequencing concepts so that new knowledge is built upon secure foundations. In case you didn't know, research has shown that assessing prior knowledge is one of the most important factors influencing learning and achievement. If you have come across Ausubel before, you may well know that he was an American psychologist. His work has contributed significantly to the fields of educational psychology, cognitive science and science education learning. We like to refer to this quote as it shows just how much Ausubel also valued assessing prior knowledge. If I had to reduce all of educational psychology to just one principle, I would say this. The most important thing influencing learning is what the learner already knows. Ascertain this and teach him or her accordingly. Since January of this year, the Early Career Framework and the initial teacher training documents have joined forces. You can see how this document also highlights the importance of assessing prior knowledge. You can see in the first section it talks about finding out what pupils already know so that new content can be introduced in small steps, so not to overload working memory. The second section is about building on pupils' prior knowledge. We can only do this if we know what prior knowledge they already have. This is a fantastic document that can be used by schools to review and improve existing practice in many areas. So why do we need to assess prior knowledge? Any new learning should be built on prior knowledge. The more we find out what pupils already think and know, and the more we help them link their prior understanding, the more likely they are to learn. This is because we remember more and for a longer period of time if we make connections or link new learning to something learnt in the past. Although children may have the required prior knowledge to begin a new topic, they may not make connections between this and the new content. Therefore, it's important to recall existing knowledge so that those links to new content can be identified by them or made explicit by the teacher. Assessing prior knowledge allows teachers valuable insights into what the pupils already know, so that future planning and teaching can be adjusted accordingly. This will help to target knowledge gaps and misconceptions. As teachers, we know what we want to teach in a particular unit, and therefore it is important to know what prior knowledge, skills or vocabulary a child may need in order to access the new unit. Some schools are making it clear on plans what prior knowledge is needed for the unit, therefore it's important to assess what the children may already know by looking at their books, discussions around home life, whatever that may look like, life experiences so far, and what they covered last term, last year, or in a previous key stage, so that meaningful and relevant links can be made, and then these can be incorporated into the teaching of the new unit, so that any new content can be linked to existing knowledge. When it comes to assessing prior knowledge, we need to know what everyone knows or does not know. We can't assume from the answers of a few. Participation needs to be made compulsory. Don't assume what knowledge has already been learned just from one or two answers. You need to assess the understanding of all pupils to get a clear picture of how you might adapt future learning. Hands up leads to only a few giving an answer. What other ways do you use where you can find out what everyone knows? You could use whiteboards, post-its, tables, grids, quizzes, etc. How do we get an accurate understanding of the prior learning of the class? The first is to make sure that we include everyone, using the examples from the previous slide. Using something like multiple choice questions can give you very good assessment information. These don't need to take ages to plan or take up too much lesson time. You may only need one question. Using the website here can support you with this. When is the best time to assess prior understanding? It is best done before a lesson or start of a unit to give you time to adapt your planning. It can also be done during the unit to check understanding is clear. It could be something you do at the same time each week for certain lessons, perhaps on the same day as PPA, so that any assessment can be included in planning while it's still fresh. Obviously, as we continue to review our curriculum, we endeavour to ensure that prior knowledge is covered before they need it in a subsequent unit or year group, meaning that eventually all our curriculum is sequenced so that new knowledge builds on what the children already know. The quote here from Tom Sherrington outlines this. The curriculum we do deliver needs to work as a whole with links and threads running through it so that it all makes sense, so that teachers can know how all their various bits of the puzzle fit together across subject domains and over time within each one. If you want to look into this area in more detail, then I can recommend Mary Myatt's book on the curriculum. It talks in detail about a coherent curriculum and effective sequencing. Tom Sherrington's website, Teacherhead, also has some useful articles on assessing prior knowledge and some good examples of how to do this in his walkthrough books. I'm hoping you now have a better understanding around the importance of assessing prior knowledge. I'd like to take this opportunity to summarise what we have discussed so far. Why do we assess prior understanding? Because it targets gaps and misconceptions, promotes memory through making connections. What do we assess? We assess the required knowledge and understanding in order to access the curriculum. Who do we assess? Everybody. How do we assess prior understanding? With quick and easy to prepare activities, utilising things like whiteboards and quizzes. When do we assess it? Before the lesson or start of a unit, but also during a unit if necessary. If you are interested in other vlogs or even some of our courses, you can access the LPDS website here via this QR code, where it will show you what we have to offer. We also have a section on recent vlogs, recommended websites and useful reads. Thank you very much for listening.